Thank you, Russell, for being here today. Can you tell everybody your full name and how do you help clients?
My full name is Russell Edmond. And how do I help clients? Well, I help hotels be relevant or stay relevant for the most part. I mean, I help develop new business for hotels, more effectively reach their guests, um, and provide a voice for them in a busy digital space. So, in a nutshell, is basically I assist them with staying relevant, especially during these times right now, the COVID times when a lot of promotion, a lot of social media postings are not happening within the hotel space. So I try to assist them with that, as
Gosh.
well as well as a podcast that I have, which is called On Air with Russell of Hotels, and we kind of dive into some other trends that are going on in the industry, as well as I have people come on that are hoteliers. I mean, they can be anything in the travel space or hotel space, and we talk about their brand. So the shows are dedicated to them. Has nothing to do with me, but just to kind of everyone has a journey. Everyone has a story that they can tell, and the show is part of that.
Excellent. So, how did you choose that as a niche to go into for your podcast?
Well, it didn't. Well, it came after some other stuff had happened, right? Or okay, let me just back up. 2017 is when I left one particular job, and I said, well, I started being a hospitality entrepreneur, if you will. So I did meeting planning, or actually call, well, the term that most people know about is called meeting planning, but I call it hotel site selection, where I assist companies and organizations with finding meeting sites for their groups. Like 10 rooms or more is considered a group. So meetings like conventions, conferences, family reunions, whatever it is, that's what I provide that service as well. And then it kind of morphed into something else, where meaning I know I needed to do something. Goes back to 2019. I know I needed to do something to jumpstart my brand, right? To kind of let people know that what I was doing, and I was, serious about it. So what I did was, and at that time, people were coming up with podcasts and this and that, and I was actually a guest on someone else's podcast, and I said, "This is interesting. This is something I could do." And I did it. And I just said, you know what? I did some research and found a place. Actually, mine started out at a radio. It was a kind of an internet radio station first, and then blew up to something else. So I said, I can do this, and I can help out hotel brands, get them in front of people, or and then I can have guests come on and tell their stories and things like that. Because we have things in common, right? Because I'm a former director of sales and marketing, and former general manager, and I've had people with similar backgrounds on there, but I've also had people that are in food and beverage space, people that are travel influencers, and basically just to see how they think, and how they get their jobs and things like that, and just kind of where they got their start. So it's all about the journey for a lot of people, and including myself, because like I said, I started the podcast because I wanted to jumpstart my brand. I wanted to kind of be a market disruptor, if you will, where people would know, okay, Russell of Hotels, he has this show, right? And I post it on every social media platform, so everyone knows. So I'm all about self promotion too. So
Excellent, excellent. You and we met on Clubhouse. I want to ask you, what do you love most about Clubhouse?
you know, I, I I love it because you get perspectives from people, global perspective, right? So we think we have issues here. We're dealing with our issues here, right? But they got similar issues that over, across the pond, if you will, in the UK, Australia, or New Zealand, or wherever else, Canada, wherever they have their issues within the hotel space too. And one of the main problems that I've heard from them is that some, because of COVID, the communication, between the government and regular people is kind of disconnected, if you will. And here in California, I mean, we kind of have, I mean, we complain, right? We complain too, but it's nothing like them. At least we have somewhat of a roadmap of when things are going to open, right? We've been given dates. Okay, so June 30th, I know that California is going to open. I know on April 30th, Disneyland is going to open. You know what I mean? Universal Studios opened last Friday. So I know these things, but some of the people in Europe don't even know because the government has not told them. So it just gives you a different perspective. But then within the hotel space, I've come across people in some of these rooms where, you know, they've had similar positions that I have as well, and they just bring a fresh perspective to things. And I've made so many new connections and connections that you can actually follow up on and call, and you know, they're not fake connections, because you know, you get a lot of people that, I'll just say this, on social media, you get a lot of people that follow you or connect with you, and it goes both ways, right? I'm not saying that I connect with everybody, I want to follow everybody, but these connections seem more real. You know what I mean? Real people like you. I mean, we were on a Clubhouse together, and now we're doing this podcast. So I mean, that's a prime example of someone that's real. And I had another on my show. I do my show every Tuesday, and I met a gentleman, Jack Wardell. He reached out to me. He's a video creator, right? But he does it in the hospitality space. And I met him in a room as well. And so he came on my show just this past Tuesday. So those are real connections that can lead to other things.
Absolutely. Now, Clubhouse can be a little bit addicting. So how much time do you spend on Clubhouse?
A little bit addicting. Now I think I've toned it down to maybe an hour a day. Okay. Before, when I was on it when I first got introduced to it, 2, maybe 3 hours, because I was trying to navigate and see what was what, right? You know, how can this benefit me? What type of rooms are there? So I would pop in the rooms. I guess it's called trolling. I didn't know trolling, and then I get out because I just want to see what they're about, right? But I kind of honed in on a couple clubhouses that I listen to quite often, and they're all geared around, for the most part, hospitality, marketing, revenue management. But then there's some other things that I get involved with, like personal branding, and then that can be via like LinkedIn or Instagram, because I'm interested in how that all comes to play, as far as, you know, how the algorithms work. And a lot of people know about that. And I'll go on stage and ask, like, okay, this is my profile. Can you take a look at it and let me know what I'm doing wrong? Because I was having an issue with, I was streaming my show to multiple platforms, like say to LinkedIn, to YouTube, and to Facebook. And the people on LinkedIn said, hey, you need to, as LinkedIn, the algorithm, the way it's set up is that you should only stream to one, only stream to LinkedIn, because your views will go down if you don't. If you do multiple, the algorithm of LinkedIn knows that you're streaming to multiple other platforms, and it doesn't like that. So I said, okay. So when I stopped doing that, my numbers went up. So I mean, just things like that, because you want to get in front of the optimal amount of people that you can to get your message out, right? So if something's in the way, you need to figure that out. And I didn't know that. So I just thought that's just how it was, you know, but after they gave me that little tidbit of advice, I took that advice, and here we go.
Excellent. I never knew that. So thanks for that advice for me and everyone listening. So how have you generated leads just by being on Clubhouse?
Well, it's not necessarily leads. I would say generated good contacts that can lead to leads. Okay, just like, you know, you and I in conversation, we met in a Clubhouse, and now we're doing this. But we don't know where this is going to go from here. Clubhouse to me is the entry level, right? Because you're meeting people that you would not have met before. I mean, that's basically how I look at it. I've met people that have asked me to be on there, you know, to co-moderators, or at this point I have not been a moderator, and I don't know if I really want to be one at this time. I don't know, but I like hopping in the rooms and still giving my opinion. Invite me on stage, I can talk, but as far as being a moderator or things like that, I don't know if I'm there yet, but we'll see. but no, I've made I lost my train of thought, but yeah, I've come across people that, this is what I was saying. Okay, yeah, Clubhouse is the ground floor to possibly getting leads, but people, they're only going to do business with you if they familiar with you and comfortable with you. Okay, yeah, you see me on Clubhouse, but people then they do their research, right? Just like I did my research on you and things like that to see exactly what I'm getting into, right? And then you go from there, and then that can lead to other things because like Jack Wardell, who was the video creator that I met on Clubhouse, um, before I got to the point where I wanted him on the show, we had a conversation. We did a quick Zoom call or whatever, and we talked for about 20, 30 minutes and we connected. We hit it off because we had some similar interests, things like that. So, and we may do some other work in the future, but it started with the podcast because I wanted his story was interesting and a lot of hotels, because we have similar opinions on hoteliers not embracing social media like they should. Okay, especially doing like videos and things like that, telling a story, trying to get people to up your brand and things like that. So so all that resonated with me. So of course, we have this connection. So later on, it may lead to other things, but right now, like I said, Clubhouse to me is a ground floor that can lead to other things because you're not doing business on Clubhouse anyway. You're gonna have to take it offline and do it somewhere else. And that's what we did. He DM'd me on IG and then we went from there. So that's how it works for me.
Excellent. Now, what's one tip you can give somebody who is just jumping onto Clubhouse? Because I know the Android people are coming. What's one tip you can help them to be successful?
Try not to be overwhelmed with it. I think there's a couple like entry level, welcome to Clubhouse kind of thing. I think it's important that even before you get on there, that whoever invited you needs to give you the kind of the lay of the land before you get on there. Because when I got on, I remember, and this person's an influencer, and she just sent me a text. She says, "Are you on Clubhouse?" I'm like, "What is Clubhouse?" I didn't even know what Clubhouse was. So this is about 2 months ago. I didn't know what it was. And she said, "Oh, well, I'm gonna send you an invitation. I'll send it to your cell phone." I'm like, "Okay." So she didn't give me any background about it or anything. So I went on and I said, "What the heck is this?" Via text, "What is this?" And she said, "Oh," and she explained it to me, how you kind of go in, just experiment, just going in and did. And I was like overwhelmed because I was, bouncing from room to room, trolling because I wanted to get the lay of the land. But if someone had told me that, okay, this is how it works, you can find different, categories of rooms that you want to go in. There's hospitality, there's Bitcoin, there's all these different things that some things you're interested in, some things you're not. And I'm not saying I have not been into a Bitcoin room because I have, but that's not my thing. So I don't go into it anymore. I mean, now I just strictly stick to what I'm comfortable with. Well, not necessarily comfortable with, but what I know and what can assist me in my my ventures or my business, things like that. So you have to look at it like that. But I do decompress in some other rooms too, just to kind of, see what other people are talking about. I mean, I go into, people that are filmmakers or whatever, just to see some interesting things that I'm not really familiar with. So I'll pop into those rooms as well. But the advice I would say, I mean, it's a roundabout sort of way, but the advice that I would give is to ask questions before you get into it. Like, how do you navigate through it? But if there's a one room that, kind of introduces you to it, I would definitely look for that as well. And for all the people that that brought you in, that whoever invited you, follow them and see where they go, because it'll tell you indication, pops on, notifications pop on, like, so and so is in this room, and then just pop in that room and just kind of get the lay of what's going on and figure it out before you start jumping on. Because some rooms will allow you to get up there, some rooms won't. I mean, it depends on how many people are in that room. I mean, I like the smaller rooms because I can go in and your chances of getting on stage are a lot better if you have smaller rooms, right? And but I mean, I've been in rooms where just, there's more moderators than people in the audience. I'm like, well, what do you get from this? So, but anyway, that's me.
Very true. Well, where can people find you online, Russell, if they want to listen to your podcast?
The easiest way, well, I'm on every social media platform at Russell, either my name, Russell Edmond, or Russell of Hotels. So Russell of and hotels with an S at the end, or you can just go russellofhotels.com is my website.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Russell, for being here today, and we will see you in Clubhouse.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.